Next up is the penultimate interview of the night, with Hamish Arnold interviewing Oscar Bentley for the role of Environment and Ethics Officer. And for the last time tonight, let's hear a bit about the role of Environment and Ethics Officer.
Environment and Ethics Officer
encourages the development of environmentally and ethically sound working practices in USU and the university.
So, Oscar, I'd like to start with what you say is your most important policy about food waste bins, and how you'd like to introduce them in the library and in public spaces. Do you not think that education about food waste should come before that, because it might people might just ignore it until that happens?
Yeah, I definitely think that food waste, I think, is a big issue. As we all know, supermarkets throw out loads of food that's perfectly good and usable. But just on this specific policy, loads of people eat food in the library, and there isn't anywhere to put food waste so it can be compostable. So it just goes to landfill. So what I wanted to do was to get food waste bins into the library. So although it's an important issue in society in general, we can do a bit on campus to help prevent against this injustice, I suppose. And I also think it's quite a concrete and deliverable policy. It's not pie in the sky. It's something that I can have discussions with the relevant people about and try and get this into practice.
Absolutely. And another thing that you talk about is vegan options in university food outlets. I did some research, and vegans make up less than 1% of national population. And although this is likely to be higher amongst teenagers and young people, do you not think that it's proportionately adequate, the vegan options in the university food and restaurants, etc.?
Well, I'm the president of VegShock, and I have a lot of people say to me that the range is quite low. I suppose I exist in vegan circles, so I know quite a lot of vegans, as opposed to perhaps the general person does. The 1% figure, I will say, is outdated. It's higher than that. Veganuary has just happened, and I think 100,000 people signed up to do it. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's the figure. But it's things like some catering outlets have really good options. Courtyards are fairly good. As president of VegShock, alongside our campaigns officer, I've had a meeting with Courtyard, and more vegan options is something they've already agreed to introduce. But for example, HESI students in Glasshouse, as far as I'm aware, unless they have a vegan special, the only option is chips, which is a bit lacking.
Yeah, absolutely. You said that you're VegShock president, and you say in your manifesto that it's a natural progression for you to take up this officership. How do you think it's prepared you for the role of Environment and Ethics Officer?
I think that I've done a lot of things to progress ethical causes. I already know the type of things that need to happen, not only being president of VegShock, but I'm also a student journalist as the deputy editor of News, so I already know how USU works and the right way to get policy through, so hopefully there won't be too much training feat. I was on the Environments and Ethics Network in my first year, so I already know the types of things that are achievable.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.